So I found another planter in the ground. It's kind of dirty, but we've got 3 for Natalie's African marigolds and begonias and petunias, primrose, dianthus, impatiens, whatever, tropical sage, more impatiens. So now we can put another, 4 to 7 plants, flowering plants, I should say, in here. And Natalie's window is right there, and she likes to look out the window and see these nice plants, flowers in bloom. So I'm not going to do this today because I don't have any soil or any flowers, but we can look over the next days or weeks or maybe into next month and see if we can put something in this. Nothing so far on these pumpkins here. So this cover kind of makes it like a greenhouse, even though it's got a lot of air holes. So we got to make sure it's still moist. It'll hold more moisture probably than just being open top. But like I said, a lot of wind going through here, a lot of aeration. And it's going to dry it out pretty fast. So we need to add a few drops every couple days or so, of water or whatever. Planter here that doesn't have any drain holes is doing pretty good with the mint. Looks like it's happy. Humphrey is perking up a little bit more each and every day. So if you've been watching all of the videos, you probably noticed that, it was like really drooping, and, every day or every few days it looked like it's getting a little better. And there's some more leaves and all coming out. Looking at the pumpkins in this little greenhouse, and look right there. There is a sprout, it looks like, coming up. That may be a sprout, or it could just be a green leaf or something from some other place. So it looks like these guys might be the first to actually sprout. We can see that this guy here is just now pushing some green buds out. Good, good, good. So I think that's the last of our persimmons that we planted that we were waiting to get, budded out to make sure they were going to be okay. So that is nice. Look at the watercress. It's growing really big. Just in a little, place where there's a little crevice or two of water, just standing in there. And we'll fill it up if it doesn't rain in it. And I already moved a little piece to another place that had a water drip. So we're going to be putting this here, there, and everywhere and trying it in different locations that are kind of wet. And so that hopefully it guarantees we'll have, a bunch if we ever need it. The black nightshade is in bloom. And there's different stages of berries. None of them are ripe yet. Small, tiny ones, to medium ones, large ones. And those will probably start turning black soon. And most likely we're going to move a lot of these to one area, and try to create them like a forest of black nightshade. I'm going to look it up and see how good they do at sunshade, they grow everywhere here. I want to see if I can find a spot where they'll be the most happy, and then just have a whole row of them, 20 or whatever. Maybe more, maybe less. Well, let's take a look at these flowers. The wind's blowing, so I probably can't. There we go. Look at here. We got 2 or 3 more sunchokes popping out there. The original one right here. You got like 5 or 6 coming out here, it looks like. Our Mineola Tangelo is like on round 2. This is second round of flowering. Very cool. Still nothing here that tells me any papayas have started popping up, just maybe some weeds here. But we got another papaya, different type. We're gonna break open probably today sometime, maybe. Get the seeds and plant them as well. I want to show off something that is amazing, because I started my fertilizer regimen like last month, and it looks like it's starting to pay off. That's some of the prettiest pineapple guava blooms I've ever seen. There's only 2 so far, and there's a little frog there that wants to say hello. So growth wise, there hasn't been a whole lot of growth on these neglected bushes, but it hasn't flowered, I think, in 2 or 3 years. Started the fertilizer regimen, and wow. I don't ever remember the flowers being that kind of deep and beautiful on these things. So maybe we'll get more. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just get it growing well, and maybe next year we'll have fruit. I don't know. But some people say every other month fertilize them. Some people say, you know, every other week. Some people say once a month. Right now, I think every 2 to 4 weeks, I'm just going to hit it with some until, you know, earlier midsummer, because you don't want it to have a fresh flush of growth during the freezes in the winter. So some people say stop fertilizing in June. But we need to get some good growth on these. These guys can get like 15 foot tall, I think, and they're just like 4.5 foot. Now they looked a lot better before the goats destroyed them. So they're kind of in recovery mode. Another thing I think we need to do is clear out all these weeds. This is really high up on sandy soil here, which we don't have a whole lot of higher soil, but we need to mulch it, I think, so we keep water retention, you know, around it. So that means weed eating all these weeds and stuff, and putting a good thick layer, you know, like maybe some compost down, and then mulch, so it'll keep rainwater, and when we water it, it'll keep, you know, the roots moist, you know, longer, so it doesn't just rain or get watered and go straight down into, you know, 3 or 4 foot of ground without giving the plant, you know, enough time to absorb the water. One thing I haven't done too much is to get blackberries and mulberries in the last few days, so I've missed a few days, but there are blackberries that are ready, there are blackberries that are not ready, in these little patches, and you have to get at different angles. You got to like change the angle of what you're looking at to find them, but they're everywhere. Over the next couple of weeks we should have enough blackberries. Let me see, there's one right there, one down there, a bunch. Just when I look around here, I see like hundreds of you know, ruby red and or orange tinge ones, and a few black ones here and there. But I need to pick these today. Luckily, it's like a long season, you know, month and a half or whatever, where you're picking some black ones. Then there's still a bunch of unripe ones, and pick more black ones. There's unripe ones, so you can pick, you know, a handful a day or whatever, and it'll last a while. The mulberries are, there's still quite a few on here. I need to pick enough at least for a pie or something. So over the next few days, I think they're not as bountiful as they was 3 or 4 days ago. There's still hundreds on here, but you know, in 3 or 4 days, this might be like 90% gone or more. So like I said, yeah, we haven't really picked them in the last 2 days, but we need to get, that one was sweet. That one was sweet. Wow, that's perfect for fresh eating. Get them a little less sweet when we're gonna do pies, because you want that tartness and acidity in them. Well, what are we gonna do with them? Are we gonna make preserves or pie or tart or cobbler? Some people call a tart a pie a tart, depending on, like in England, a pie is a tart, I guess. But yeah, we got a lot of black ones ready to pick today. I just need to spend about 45 minutes picking them, and I'm sure you guys are tired of looking at mulberries, you know. A lot of mulberries in our videos lately. But I think that's about it for this video, and yeah, let's just finish it here. I'm so happy with these pineapple guavas starting to bloom again. I've never had a pineapple guava. I've heard that people that compare pineapple guavas to true guavas say that these are like a guava that is better than a guava, better than any other guava they've eaten. So, I mean, sounds delicious.